My name is Ken Hooker, 48231 Hill Street. Looking for guidance, help to get the trucks off of Hill Street. I've talked to Lewis over 2 years ago, several times, about getting a sign put up, no through truck traffic. He promised me that he would get back, never did. Ran into Rick 2 or 3 months ago and asked him, Louis' assistant, if he could help do something. And he passed me on, there is a sign that says, truck traffic, no truck traffic, Fish Hatchery Road. And Rick says that that's all they can do. Now it's a police matter. I went to the police department and Officer Clevenger looked into it and says that there isn't anything on the ordinance book that states Hill Street as far as being a truck traffic. Last week, the end of last week, in one day there was 21 18-wheel semis go up Hill Street. I've sat and looked out the window and watched 8 axle lowboys carrying a Caterpillar Traco, and they're grossing over 100,000 pounds running over our sewer lines and water lines. We need help to stop it. We got Fish Hatchery Road, there is no water lines, no sewer lines, and that's the route they're supposed to take. Thank you.
So, could I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So, on the 18-wheelers, what's on the doors and stuff of them? What's the 18-wheelers?
They're all different. They're freight trucks. They're Stark is one company.
Where are they going? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Where are they going when they go up Hill Street?
One lives,
I apologize.
one lives up on Jasper Loop. He parks his semi in front. The railroad have trucks towed all day long, traveling back and forth. Some of it's city equipment with their well drilling rigs or drilling under the river rigs. It's all different. And there is a sign that says, not a truck route, use Fish Hatchery. And the final on Officer Clevenger, he went back and talked to Louis, and Louis' idea was maybe just take the sign down. We went through that, but we need help, guidance, if we need to take it to the county, somebody ought to be able to help. The roads are all busted up, we've got a sinkhole that the city keeps putting patches on, and they just keep going down. Thank you.
Right in there. Don Kenyon?
I know where
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just to address Mr. Hooker, we don't have any current ordinance to enforce anything with the truck route, so we have to start a new ordinance to do something with that part of it.
Right.
Doesn't Lane County take care of that?
The city street, so,
But that's why there's we have a designated truck route for us to go on.
but there's no current ordinance that says anything.
The state police will give you a ticket, wipe in the city.
We don't have an ordinance on that.
Yes, ma'am. There is a sign coming down off of High Prairie that does indicate that truck traffic should take Fish Hatchery Road. That same sign could be placed on, since that sign's in place coming down off of High Prairie, that
There
same
is.
sign could be placed.
There is a sign there.
Yes, and if they take the same sign and put it on Hill Street.
It is there.
Okay. Well, then we could enforce that signage.
Okay, Don Kenyon?
Don Kenyon, 76113 Fish Hatchery Road. I would like to know if there is a rule or procedure in this city that when a complaint is made against an employee of the city, that the employee is not allowed to see a copy of that complaint during the investigation.
Normally, that is correct. So the initial steps is we do the fact finding
Uh-huh.
off of that, and then once you get to a point of if there may or may not be discipline, at that point, we, the pre-disciplinary hearing, if we get to that point, we do have to, at that point, give that
copy?
person everything. Yes.
Is that part of the policy? Cause I didn't see it. I think it's posted right over there. I didn't see that in the policy.
Basically,
Or
what I have
procedure.
there is for you all to get the information to us. So the piece you just asked me is our internal piece, okay? Part of disciplinary process, part of wine garden, part of a number of things, okay? So what I gave you all was just a basic pack, get it turned in, and then the investigations would be done internally, and then if it's on me, it's turned into the mayor. And then they decide at that point what path they wish to take. So, but for everybody else, it's turned in basically into HR, and then it comes and it goes to whichever department head has to do the investigation.
Okay, so is there a policy then that's written about all those details that a person could request by public record?
Most of it should be in the policy manual, yes.
Okay.
Who does the fact finding?
Huh?
Ask him who does the fact finding.
What
I still can't hear you.
Who does the fact finding? Ask.
Oh, who does the fact finding?
So, we do the fact finding internally, the different departments, depending, as you saw in that policy, depending on what it is. If it's criminal, it's going out, it's going out to an outside agency. If it's a policy or ordinance violation, we do it internally. And the key issue is getting the complaints in, okay? Because the issue that happens is if we do nothing, and I believe the citizens have a very grave concern, okay? So the key issue is getting the complaints in so we can do the investigation. And we will do them. I mean, we will do the investigation, okay? The outcomes may not be what people may want or not want, but it's got to be a fact finding. It can't be innuendo, it can't be it's gotta be what facts we find.
Who's we?
And
Dawn,
proper
who is
discipline
we?
taken.
Who is we?
Who is we? The people doing the investigation?
Pardon?
When you say we, do you mean the people that are doing the investigation, or who do you mean?
No, so basically the people who do the investigation in our city, their primary role is just to do the fact finding, okay? They find facts, then they turn it into the appropriate department head, the department head reviews the facts, and then they come to me, we review them together, and we look at them to see if there's sufficient cause to do anything.
Who is we?
Either there is or there isn't, and as in most employers, you start low and you start moving up as far as discipline,
Who is
depending on
we?
how egregious the act is. It depends on where you land on the list of actions. So, but yes,
Who is
we
we?
do have a policy that yes, someone could request that shows all those things.
And would it be called the employee policy
Personnel.
complete?
That's
Personnel?
policy maybe, yes, and you can
Personnel.
ask us for parts of it, for all of it, it's about 100 and some odd pages.
Thank you.
And then just to key to that, like the police department, ours is a little different. Some of ours is handled by their police officer's contract.
Like that too.
So the police officers have a right to see the written complaint right away for their contract, so theirs is a little different.
Okay.
That was something negotiated out of my line.
Okay, thank you.
Fire, what about fire?
I just have a quick question. Louis, when you say we, is that you that, if complaints come in, who is the person?
Normally, we would have, the HR manager, which is Susan Leduc, and Michael McPherson down in the police department are two people who do the majority of the investigations. And if there's possible conflicts, then with, one or the other, then we would flip those folks around.
And who would you flip that with?
Well, those two, one or the other would do, so for
Oh,
example.
so they don't do it as a team, it's one or the
No,
other?
normally, yes, we do, but if there's a conflict with an employee or something, with one or the other, then they may end up doing it themselves, so that we don't
And then
have
once
any
they
conflict.
have their finding, they give that finding and information to you?
No, they give it to the department head, depending on what department it is, and then the department head sits down with me and we discuss it.
All right, thank you.
Dan Barkley?
Dan Barkley, 47501 for Highway 58, for those that may have forgotten. First off, this is not use guys, y'all, citizens that you represent, all of you. Citizens, not you guys, use guys, nothing, you know? Don't disrespect them, please. But at the first meeting in June, which for whatever reason I was there, I don't often do that, Mayor Cooey resigned. And quite frankly, I was surprised he did. I thought the ego was gonna get the best of him, he was gonna sit there. When he resigned, he created a vacancy at the mayor's chair that lasted long enough for Gary Carl to shift from where he's at to the mayor's seat. Less than the time I'm gonna be allowed to speak. So when he shifted as council president, the vacancy was his seat, not the mayor's. He was already in the mayor's seat. And with the exception of Councilor Holston, who was absent, and I believe Councilor Goldman was the one nay vote in that motion. A motion was made contrary to the charter, using the process to fill a vacancy for a vacancy that didn't exist. So what you did was follow charter procedure. When Councilor Carl became Mayor Carl, Mayor for a day Carl, and then the next meeting, 3 of the 4 people that wanted to renew your contract took a seat that wasn't empty. The empty seat, once Gary took the mayor's chair, was Gary's seat. And now, the vacancy that seems less important than a planning commission vacancy is Councilor Rowland's seat. And when you say, I'll look into it, I don't know off the top of my head, remind you of a meeting 6 years ago, July 2nd, 2012, the month after Mayor Hampton resigned, since Jerry Shore is the only mayor in the last 3 that hasn't. As council president, Jerry stepped up and took the mayor's seat. And that was the same meeting that a 4-3 vote approved acting City Administrator Gomez to be acting City Administrator. And the minutes were taken by interim recorder Susie Ledoux. And then 6 years later, I'm gonna have to check with the attorney who, oh, by the way, he might change the structure to suit the argument, you know, move some commas and, you know, separate things differently than the charter does. Compare your email wording to what the charter says. If it was, you know, all on the up and up, you don't have to rearrange and restructure a sentence to get the point made. And legal advice is only that. We were advised not to hire Susie Ledoux by a more experienced accountant, and we did. So advice is what it is, and the legal opinion, if every legal opinion was 100% accurate, find me a Supreme Court case that was a unanimous decision. So the ones on the wrong side of the decision, that's not a legal opinion, that's ridiculous. And as far as the contract, if you need to change commas and put things in 3 categories, change the categories essentially, and don't understand the difference between supervise and administer, oversee from a signature authority, because if you search the charter, it's only 5 pages, do a search using the word sign. You'll find it 3 times. Twice as the mayor's function, and Susie, it's a signed, things signed by the treasury or whatever. Nowhere in the city administrator. And
Your 3 minutes is up.
I can finish real quick.
10 seconds.
I can finish here or somewhere else. Your fire chief, appointee, independent contractor, tell me another instance,
Okay, we're
be
done.
that
We're
auditor,
done.
accountant, anybody, that you signed the contract.
We're
You should
done.
make a motion to rescind,
I'm asking
The
you
seat
to
you
sit
took.
down, please.
is what you ought to be doing. Or do a change to the charter, because obviously you can't understand it.
Jim
And don't
Boyd?
send your